Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. And I loved what I did the other day where I just taught the lesson. So I'm going to do that again today. And you just need to listen in and then participate in the comments below. All right. So I want to talk today about the tough girl trope because one of the things that comes up whenever you are talking about feminine energy and femininity is, feminine energy doesn't exist. This is a construct. And why should I do all this for a man? And why do I have to be weak? Why do I have to be soft? I don't have to do any of those things to be liked by a man. And so it kind of signifies this like tough girl identity that I want to explore a little bit more today. And I would love for you to go watch this video on The Take, which is another channel about the tough girl trope. I'll link it in the description box below. It's a really fantastic video that dives into this topic and how the tough girl is portrayed in media. And I'm guessing it's a media literacy channel, or I think that's what they said in their outro. And media literacy is extremely important if you are hoping to become unbothered. Okay. Part of the reason that you're getting so triggered is that you don't understand media. And now we have social media. So before it was like print, TV, radio, you have to understand that things are produced. Okay? They are produced, and the ultimate goal of media is to make money, right? It's entertainment to you, it's a business to somebody else. You have to keep that in mind, and that will help you decrease a lot of emotional responses and feeling triggered because you're going to start to see these larger themes and detach, emotionally detach so you can actually listen and pay attention and analyze what it is that's being presented to you. Okay. So I highly recommend that you go watch this video and then come back, or you can listen and then go watch the video. It's your choice. Okay. But here are some notes that I made from the video that I wanted to discuss with you and call your attention to. The tough girl trope disproves the stereotype that women are fragile and weak. Okay, that's a direct quote from the video. And there were a lot of examples shown, like Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider, Furiosa from Mad Max, some of the female superhero characters. One that comes to mind for me is Arya from, oh my goodness, Game of Thrones, right? The tough girl. She doesn't need anybody. She can do it herself. She is there to disprove the stereotype that women are fragile and weak. And some of you, that's how you're living your life. You are living your life on a mission to prove or disprove the stereotype that women are fragile and weak. Okay, so you have all the strength of a man and you're extremely logical as male characters are often portrayed. You anything that they can do, you can do better. And you are right there with them in a battle with the same amount of strength. One of the flaws here in the tough girl trope that the take points out, and something that I've always been able to see on my own, is that the strong female character has the default characteristics of strength that are male or masculine. So when we say strong female character, what we really mean is, hang on, where did I write it down? She's strong like a man, has the mind of a man, but has a female body. So that's the default. When you think of strong female, what you're really thinking of are the same characteristics that they give to the male characters. It's just in a female body now. So this becomes one-dimensional. And the take really asks you to examine the character development that occurs when you have a one-note tough girl, and her main personality trait and the focus of her character is that she's tough, and that's all that there is. And that becomes boring. It becomes one note. It becomes one dimensional, because it seems like the whole mission of her character is simply to disprove a stereotype, not that she gets to have her own personality, you know, her own backstory, more to her character development. There's got to be more to her character development and purpose than to disprove a stereotype. And this is another direct quote: the tough girl's power is measured by male metrics. Her ability to fight in a battle next to a man, her ability to repress her emotions like a man would. So we need to ask ourselves the question, what does toughness mean according to a female metric? And so the take goes on to kind of explore this and ask you to think, why are characteristics of femininity or female characteristics such as nurturing, etc., why are those not promoted as signs of strength? And what is our true definition of female leadership? Is it defaulting to male metrics? This is what I have been saying. This is what I talk about with my clients. This is what I talked about with a friend this evening. So many people are getting lost and getting triggered and taking this feminine energy conversation in a different direction. We, especially in the United States, in the West, do not have a true understanding of what feminine strength looks like and feminine leadership. It's always defaulting to a male metric. And in the current, system that we have, the labor system is designed for men with testosterone that don't have any caregiving responsibilities, because that's who can work 40 hours a week plus 60, 70, 80 on focusing on a single task outside of the home. you know so when we think of achievement, even this conversation around education, because I had posted something on my Instagram. If you didn't see it, I reposted a video from the universe guru, Mina Irfan, and there were people having a discussion in the comments. Some agreed, some disagreed, some were very triggered. And oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Just a second. Let me have a little water and let it come back to me. Man, it's taking a minute. Something about the tough girl. Oh, education. Whew, sorry about that. So in the video, Mina Irfan was talking about a, a category of woman who's very high achieving, high performing, most likely very successful, and she's done so well in school. She's gotten like all the degrees, done all the things, worked really hard at her job, and she doesn't understand why this isn't making her more appealing and more attractive, and why she's not necessarily getting attention from men. And so people took it to mean that being educated or successful was wrong, but that's not what I interpreted from it. What I interpreted from it was there's another part of you that needs to be educated and developed, not just the mind, not just intellectual pursuits, not just worship of the written word, because even the educational system itself defaults to a very specific type of mindset and structure about what is important. So, you know what I mean? There's no arts in the schools. Hello? So it really becomes, listen, there's a speaker on education, and his name is Sir Ken Robinson. He had like a viral TED talk, who knows how many years ago. I need to share that with you all as well, because you're now in class, by the way. If you're listening, you are now in class. Welcome to class. Sir Ken Robinson said the main purpose of school is to do more school. It's kind of like when you sign up for a program and they just keep extending the deadline of like, oh, no, sorry, you're not actually finished. No, sorry, you're not actually prepared. No, sorry, you still got to do more. You still got to do more. You've still got to do more, because in 12 years, and this is coming from somebody who was a teacher and who was in education, and I still am. That's the thing. I still am. That's why I just told you you're in class. I'm just not going to do that, because going back to media literacy, I was working in schools and nobody is telling the kids the truth about these phones. That you can run a whole business off your phone, that what you see is being produced, it's being designed to grab your attention. This is how you need to be literate about what you're seeing on your phone and what's happening and where this is going. And that the ultimate goal for all of this, stop telling me that things should be free when you're on social media, when Meta is worth how many billions of dollars or trillions. Stop telling me that it's just for giggles, it's not a big deal, blah, 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 blah. No. So anyway, even sort of hyper fixating, and it's not that you shouldn't get an education, you just cannot be so one-dimensional about it and live in the mind and neglect your feminine characteristics and traits. Don't become the tough girl because it's boring. Your main personality trait is that you hate the stereotype of women being weak. You're out to prove already. If you're out to prove or disprove, like, you're already in a one down position. You know what I mean? You've already given your power away. And I have compassion and I understand because I was the tough girl. There was a time in my life where I was the tough girl. I even went to Colorado by myself. I like to say with myself. And that wasn't the issue, me taking a vacation with myself, but I made sure to climb as many mountains as I could by myself or with myself, right? I was tough. And I'll tell you, especially when it comes to any mention of clothes or male attention or whatever it is, there was one person that I was seeing, and I had on this tough girl outfit because I was thinking, you know what I mean? I don't need to dress feminine. I can't even describe what was going through my mind, but I just knew I was in that tough girl place. And so I was purposefully rejecting um sort of appearing more feminine in my style of dress. So I had on this black, like loose um tank top, these stone washed stretchy waistband shorts that were actually really cute. Like the individual pieces I think were fine. It was just the way it was all styled together. It was like hipster tough girl, okay? Um and then I had these motorcycle boots. These motorcycle boots. I'm going to tell a second story. They were these Steve Madden black motorcycle boots. Like I might as well have been Captain Jack Sparrow. And I remember, and this has happened to me more than once, where I would show up for a date and the guy would just look at me and just immediately know. And I would be thinking, this is ridiculous. Like, we had such a connection. We really got along. Like, you know what I mean? We made each other laugh. Like, I, you, why should it be a big deal? Blah, 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 blah. But then somebody else, I was wearing my swashbuckling boots. Somebody else that I had a longer relationship with, um, not that I was just dating, but I was wearing a sundress and I would wear the boots with the sundress as like the cool grunge tomboy type of thing. Which I think can be really cute. You shouldn't like restrict yourself in fashion, but here's the thing. I want to make this very clear. It wasn't necessarily fashion. I was energetically in a place where I wanted to hold on to the tough girl and reject the softness. I was telling myself, like, oh, I don't need that. I'm not interested in that. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not really interested in that. Even though, you know what I mean? I secretly was. I just had adopted this mindset of the tough girl and the trope and like was identifying with it in a way because as they say in the take, like, you know, something traumatic may have happened or there's pain in your backstory or you were in a tough environment so you had to become tough yourself. Like there's all these, you know, reasons why you might be in that energy. So it wasn't like I was like exploring fashion and like playing around and having fun with it. It was really just more of a representation of where I was and how yeah, I was definitely disconnected from my femininity. And so in some ways, not in all ways, but in some. And that's true for everyone. And so that's why you shouldn't like feel ashamed or like overanalyze yourself. Just be gentle with this process, okay? Because you already are. But the real purpose of this video, the real purpose of my classes, etc., is to get you to really decenter the men in terms of the default of what you think it means to be strong, what you think it means to be a leader, because you have to realize that you've been conditioned to default always to these male centric qualities, repressing emotion, physical strength, being able to, you know what I mean? Not only repress your emotions, but repress your physical needs. So, like, it's very almost not full on military, but you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I gotta pull an all-nighter. I gotta, blah, blah, blah. We gotta, for what? For the company to make more profit? Does that sound like a feminine driving force? Like, is that how you know what I mean? A healthy feminine, like matriarch type of figure would uh manage their team? Would we even have all of this? Like, what is all this extra stuff for? Like, yes, we need to grow food. Yes, we need shelter. You know what I mean? Okay, transportation. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, yes, there's a lot of industry that's necessary, but let me think of something that's like super not necessary. I don't know why it's not obvious to me right this moment. But you know those like middle management job titles that are just sort of created because we need a bureaucracy, and like we just have all these we just have all these companies, right? Everybody has to work and produce, and a large part of it is like very wasteful, right? So you have to open up your mind and really start to decenter men, and the um I don't know how to like say it, especially on YouTube, because I don't want to get flagged and whatnot, but there's a particular archetype of men that have set up this system. Let's just say that. Okay. And so we keep defaulting to that for what success and leadership looks like. And again, that could be for varying degrees, depending on what your experience has been in this world and what kind of women that you've been surrounded by. But it's worth examining. So, this could be a very new concept for you, or you could already be familiar and have some people in your mind as examples. Um, but even think about it this way, it's always like a token woman, especially in history. There's just not much even written about the contributions of women. And in philosophy, right? How come it's only men? So we keep defaulting and putting this on a pedestal, this one way of operating in the world. And this is what it means to be strong. And this is what it means to be educated. And this is what it means to be, you know what I mean? It's very dogmatic. So I highly recommend that you watch this video from the take and start asking yourself this question. What does toughness mean according to a female metric? And how can you start becoming more media literate so that you have the space to use your discernment and really see what's going on and see what's being produced for you and why, and really open up your mind to the concept that this conversation around feminine energy is maybe different than what you thought it was. and bringing femininity back. So I hope you enjoyed this. Just wanted to hop on and talk about that tough girl trope because it really interests me. And it's, again, I had my own era and I didn't finish the story about the motorcycle boots, I don't think. So yeah, the person that I was in a relationship with, I would wear the Captain Jack Sparrow boots with like summer baby doll type of dresses. And one time he looked at me and he was like, have you ever thought of wearing like a different shoe or like maybe like a white sneaker or something? And immediately, I recoiled and was like, why? No, why would I do that? I like the way these look, type of thing. But it didn't dawn on me kind of what the energy was until like years later. And now I wear white shoes all the time, not because of what he said or to think about it from the male gaze, but from my own gaze, seeing myself as not projecting hurt. Does that make sense? If that's your style and you're making you know what I mean, you're doing a grunge look or whatever like that's have fun, dress up. But for me, I simply was living in a place of, you know, hurt and wanting to protect myself and kind of adopting this, little pieces of tough girlness and like it shouldn't matter and you know what I mean? But as I've gone on my own journey and as I've matured, I've just and educated myself and like listened to videos like the one I just shared with you and read a lot of books and really done a lot of inner work. I've just come to the conclusion that I don't want to hold on to the tough girl trope and default what I think is powerful and strong to the male centric view. That was the shift. So you can enjoy and love men and have great relationships with them and not make them your center at the same time. But they can be a really big part of your life, but it's not what you like. You just stop defaulting to that in terms of how you measure yourself. And that helps you to decenter and to stop getting triggered every time somebody's having a conversation about feminine energy or femininity, or even talking about male female relationships and dynamics and what's attractive and what's not, because there's nothing wrong with being attractive or wanting to be attractive for a man. You got to let that go. There's nothing wrong with it. By the way, it's natural. It's natural. Just relax. Okay. So I have what's it called? Masterclass coming up this Sunday. That'll be July 14th. And this is all about the secrets of soft and silky movement. So if you want to get out of your tough girl era, your tough girl persona, and really feel beautiful, feel sensual, and feel very, very feminine, I highly recommend this class. So this is not choreography. This is just simple movement training. We are definitely going to get into the hips and loosen up those hips because I know that is a very tight place for a lot of you. So we are going to find that just, you know what I mean? That gorgeous, beautiful sway. When a woman moves like silk and it's just like luxurious, there's something about her. Okay. And you can practice this. You can practice this. As a reminder, the majority, if not all, of the women that you see that you think are alluring and sensual have practiced it. It takes practice to become smooth. Okay. So stop saying that it's impossible for you and start practicing, because the only reason other people are smooth is because they practiced. Think about playing an instrument, right? You get smoother with practice. So moving your body is just another kind of language. And then let's see, I'm working on another project right now. One of my private coaching program clients graduated today. So congratulations to her. She did amazing. And I do have private coaching available. So you just let me know. You just let me know when you're ready for that personal touch. But in the meantime, I need to see your comments in the comment section. What do you think? So many women are complaining lately that they don't know how to find their tribe. They don't know how to find their friend group or have like high vibe friendships. You know what I mean? They want to level up. And in order to do that, you're going to have to start having different conversations. So I need you to, if this is resonating with you, I need you to jump in the comments and start like, like we're having a real discussion in class together or in like symposium. Think of it that way, like a dinner party, you know? So it doesn't have to be like super intellectual or, you know what I mean? Just what do you think? What do you think? So I look forward to reading what you say. Make sure you go watch that video. The links for class and for private coaching are in the description. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.